the Range Rover Evoque. Now, this is a really capable off-roader, but really, it's a fashion statement car. People buy it for the image, and to keep it looking fresh, it's been given a midlife makeover. So it's got some revised bumpers and some all-new optional LED headlamps. But this has to be one of the most subtle facelifts of the fashion world. I think you know what I mean. Anyway, inside, ow, the Evoque is absolutely lovely. It's simple, it's stylish, though if you have a bit of a feel around, you do notice the materials aren't quite as plush as in a Mercedes or a BMW. Cubby spaces, they're okay, but once again, rivals do it slightly better. Can't really fault this for equipment though. So this is the SE Tech model, and it's got pretty much all you need. You've got parking sensors, you've got these lovely sports seats which are electrically operated and they're heated, and you also get satellite navigation. Now the Evoque gets Land Rover's new infotainment system, and this is actually the upgraded one with the Meridian sound system, and it sounds absolutely brilliant. I'm not so impressed with the actual infotainment system itself. It's a touch screen and it's still just a little bit clunky. It's not as good as those that you'll find once again in BMW or Mercedes. Now for our full review of the infotainment system, click on the top right hand corner of the screen on the card for our in-depth review of it and to get another look around the cabin. But on the whole, it's blooming lovely in the front of the Evoque. As for the back though, well, it's not quite so good in this respect. Now the problem is I'm 5'11", that's in my usual driving position, and knee room is pretty tight for this kind of SUV off-roader vehicle. And anyone over 6 foot, they're going to have their knees cramped up against there. Also the footwells are really small as well. The backrests are quite upright, so you don't want to go too far in the back. The windows are small, so you really do need that glass roof, otherwise it feels dark and dingy in here. And it's not good with 3 in the back at all. And you can see why not by clicking the top right hand corner of the screen on the card for our in-depth practicality review. And in it you'll also be able to see how easy it is to fit a child seat in the back and just what you can squeeze into the boot, which probably isn't quite as much as you'd imagine, because the Evoque's capacity is quite a bit down on that of, say, a BMW X3. Actually, the boot space is less than you'll find on a BMW X1. I'll just remove the parcel shelf, and unfortunately I will just have to put it on the floor because there's nowhere clever in the car to leave it. Another issue I have, not a major one, but if you look there, you'll notice when you fold the seats down, they stick up slightly, which does hamper the practicality somewhat. On the flip side, you do get no load lip. There's a little bit of underfloor storage there. There's a 12-volt socket here and a couple of tie-down hooks. They're here actually. That's for your curry, I think.
These features are pretty common, but there are some on the Evoque which are more unique.
Puddle lights illuminate the pavement at night with a cool Evoque graphic. The sat-nav has an off-road function in case you don't want to go somewhere via a normal road. You can open the hands-free tailgate system from the side of the car so you don't have to walk round. Still not the fastest though. There's 2 types of four-wheel drive system available, one that's permanent and another one which saves fuel by only sending power to the rear wheels when the fronts start to slip. You can get the car with a wading depth monitor, which will be able to tell if that thing you think is a stream is actually a river.
But not everything about the Evoque is quite so clever.
The raked windscreen means that you don't really feel the benefit if you have that panoramic roof because it seems to be behind you.
When you release the seatbelt, it catches against this trim and scratches it.
Land Rovers don't exactly have the best reputation for reliability. Oh dear. The optional heads-up display emits a weird green light which fills the cabin at night. The auto tailgate will open but not close with the key.
While that may do your head in, there is one way the Evoque leads the field.
It's better in the mud than its rivals, mainly due to its proper off-roader routes and the fact that it's got this clever terrain response system which does it all electronically. Now you might be wondering why I'm not actually showing you that. Well, the fact of the matter is most people who buy an Evoque will never go off-road. And actually, I'll let you into a little secret, it's the front-wheel drive model. Now, I know what you're thinking, a non-4x4 Range Rover, it's sacrilege! Also, it's only got the lower powered version of Land Rover's new 2-litre diesel engine, which I think is a very good engine, by the way. And I think it's fast enough, and it gives good economy. Land Rover says 65 miles per gallon, the trick computer says 51 miles per gallon. From a Range Rover, that's actually pretty good. I'm impressed with that. This car's also the manual, and I quite like the shift in it, though most people probably want the automatic because it's just a little bit easier to drive in town. Though that 9-speed automatic, because it's got so many ratios, sometimes it can get a little bit confused when you put your foot down, and it's like, I don't know which gears I've got too many, I don't know, third, fourth, I don't know, and then it kind of, you've missed your gap in the traffic. To drive, the Evoque feels a little bit like a sports car that's been jacked up rather than a traditional off-roader. That's partly because of the steering, which is so sharp, you just turn the wheel a bit and it's suddenly changing direction. And that can actually make it feel a little bit flighty when you're driving at speed on the motorway. On the whole though, it handles very well. It doesn't have the outright grip of a BMW X3, but it doesn't roll too much, and the suspension isn't so firm that it's uncomfortable. A lot of people will actually drive the Evoque in town, and it's pretty good for that, obviously, because you're sat up high. One of the problems that you have though is this pillar creates a massive blind spot, so when you're at junctions you have to look round it, and the rear window is tiny, and you can actually see for yourself by clicking on the top right hand corner of the screen on the card to watch our 360-degree video. Another thing you should be aware of is that at speed it can be quite noisy because you get a lot of wind whistle off the wing mirrors. Overall then, what do I think of the Range Rover Evoque? Well, its infotainment system is a little bit clunky, and for an SUV, it's actually not that practical. Still, it looks really stylish and it's good fun to drive. Now, for more information on this car and to find out the best deal you can get, click on the card to go to carwow.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Click over there for our group test video between the Range Rover Evoque, the BMW X3 and the Mercedes GLC. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. Now, did you know that ex-Spice Girl Victoria Beckham was actually involved in the launch of the original Evoque?